Imagine the king of the gods, stripped of his power, his hands and feet severed from his body, imprisoned in a cave, guarded by a she-dragon, while the universe teeters on the edge of annihilation. This isn't a nightmare. This actually happened to Zeus. And the monster responsible? Typhon, the deadliest creature ever born from the earth itself. Zeus had won. The Titans were cast into Tartarus, the giants crushed, divine honors distributed among the gods. Olympus stood secure, and the cycle of violent succession, father overthrowing father, seemed finally broken. Zeus had even swallowed his first wife, Metis, the embodiment of wisdom itself, to prevent any son from surpassing him. It was the era of cosmic peace. The gods felt untouchable, and that's precisely when the earth struck back. Gaia, the primordial earth, watched as her children, the Titans, were hurled into the abyss. She watched the giants fall, and she was furious. In Hesiod's account, Gaia did something unthinkable. She mated with Tartarus itself, the negative space beneath creation, the void where Zeus had imprisoned her children. From this union of surface and abyss came Typhon, the youngest child of the earth, not born to rule, but to unmake. He was the manifestation of the vanquished past refusing to die, the earth's ultimate weapon against the sky god's authority. But there's another version. According to the Homeric hymn to Apollo, Typhon wasn't born from Gaia's revenge, he was born from Hera's jealousy. When Zeus birthed Athena from his own head, bypassing Hera entirely and claiming wisdom for himself alone, the queen of Olympus was enraged. She struck the ground, invoking chthonic powers, and gave birth to Typhon through parthenogenesis, a virgin birth, a dark mirror to Zeus's creation of Athena. In this telling, the greatest threat to Olympus didn't come from outside. It came from within, from the fractured marriage at the heart of divine power. So what was Typhon? The ancient poets struggled to even describe him. Hesiod gave him 100 snake heads erupting from his shoulders. Fire flashed from his eyes. But it was the sound that truly terrified. Some heads spoke the language of the gods. Others bellowed like bulls, roared like lions, yelped like puppies, or simply hissed. This wasn't just noise. For the Greeks, civilization itself was defined by logos, reason, speech, order. Typhon's cacophony was the breakdown of language itself. He was chaos incarnate, threatening to drown out the voice of law. Apollodorus described his size as almost incomprehensible. His head brushed the stars. His arms stretched from the eastern horizon to the western. From the thighs down, massive coils of vipers. He was so large he didn't just threaten Olympus, he physically occupied the sky, displacing Zeus's domain. Non-news, writing centuries later, escalated the horror to a fever pitch. 200 hands, heads of lions, leopards, bears, boars, wolves, all attacking the constellations themselves. The bull head charging at Taurus, the lion roaring at Leo. Typhon wasn't just a monster, he was the anti-cosmos. When Typhon stormed Olympus, something unprecedented happened. The gods ran, all of them except Zeus, and Athena fled Greece entirely, sailing to Egypt in sheer terror. And to hide from the monster's gaze, they transformed themselves into animals. Zeus became a ram, Hermes an ibis, Apollo a hawk, Artemis a cat. This moment of divine cowardice became the Greek explanation for why Egyptian gods had animal heads. They were the Olympians in disguise, cowering from the ultimate threat. Only Athena stood her ground, mocking Zeus for his hesitation, until he finally resumed his kingly duties. The message was clear. Typhon wasn't just a Greek problem. He was a cosmic threat that destabilized all divine hierarchies across the Mediterranean. Zeus descended from Olympus, armed with his thunderbolt and an adamantine sickle, the same weapon Cronus had used to castrate Uranus. The battle shook creation. Zeus hurled lightning. The earth melted like tin. But Typhon was no ordinary foe. The fight moved east to Mount Cassius in Syria. There, the monster closed the distance. His serpentine coils wrapped around Zeus, constricting, crushing, and then impossibly Typhon seized the sickle. He used it to sever the sinews from Zeus's hands and feet. The king of the gods became a boneless sack of flesh, helpless, mortal. Typhon carried Zeus's mutilated body to the Critian cave in Cilicia, hid the severed tendons in a bearskin, and set the she-dragon Delphine to guard them. The universe was left without a ruler. Chaos had won, but cunning, not just power, rules the cosmos. Hermes the trickster and Egyptian infiltrated the cave. They didn't fight the dragon, they deceived her. Through stealth, they stole back Zeus's sinews and surgically reattached them to his body. Zeus was whole again. In Olympus's telling, the recovery was even more elaborate. Zeus disguised the hero Cadmus as a shepherd and sent him to retrieve the stolen lightning bolts. Cadmus played the panpipes with such divine beauty that Typhon was seduced by the melody. The monster offered Cadmus the universe, promised him Athena, or Artemis, as a bride, just to hear more music. Cadmus claimed he needed better lyre strings. Typhon, drunk on the music, foolishly handed over Zeus's sinews to use as strings. The trap was sprung. Zeus, now rearmed, revealed himself. Typhon fled westward in panic, with the king of the gods pursuing. At Mount Nysa, the Fates appeared, offering Typhon ephemeral fruits that would supposedly restore his strength. He devoured them. They didn't strengthen him. They bound him to mortality. Even the forces of chaos bowed to destiny. The script of the universe did not permit Typhon's victory. The chase reached Thrace. Typhon hurled entire mountains at Zeus. Zeus deflected them with thunderbolts. The rebound struck Typhon, and his blood hymer gushed across the range. That mountain is still called Hemus today, a geological scar memorializing the conflict. The chase ended in Sicily. As Typhon attempted to flee across the sea, Zeus lifted the massive island door, specifically Mount Etna, and crushed the monster beneath it. But this wasn't death. This was imprisonment. Typhon remains alive beneath the lithosphere. The eruptions of Etna, that's his angry breath. The earth quakes, his struggles against the weight. As Pindar wrote, the 100-headed enemy lies pinned by the sky-pillaring weight of Etna, suppressed but never destroyed. The earth is always capable of producing new monsters, and the price of sovereignty is eternal vigilance. The myth of Zeus and Typhon isn't about good triumphing over evil. It's about the fragility of order. Zeus rules a cosmos that is biologically hostile to him, a universe where nature produces life. That threatens civilization itself. His victory wasn't inevitable. It required power, Yes, but also cunning, help from others, and the intervention of fate. Typhon still lies beneath Etna, the youngest child of the earth, the shadow of the sky, a reminder that the monster is never truly dead, only repressed. And civilization's greatest battle is not won once, but fought every single day. The earth always remembers,